Now it's recording. Welcome to the Sherry Hansen Show.
That's what you think. Alright guys, so as you can see I don't have any makeup on. Today we are going to be doing my mom's makeup and we're going to be talking about mature skin. So for those of us who are not 19 and on Instagram, how are we going to do our makeup so that way we're not aging ourselves, we're making ourselves look better and not worse. So as we get a little bit older, sometimes we have to tweak some things. So we're going to go through a few steps that I do on my mom whenever I do her makeup. The first product that I usually like to use is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So we're going to use this as both a moisturizer and a base. It's not cheap, but it is a very, very good product for putting all over your face. It's nice and creamy. So we're just going to take our fingers and just very gently press
Really
into the
smells
skin.
good too.
It smells like lemons.
That smells very fresh.
Feels good too. We're going to take it a little bit down here too. Lengthen your lip for me. I was doing the motion without using words. Like, what is it that we're doing? Okay. I should have had you put on a headband.
Not with this hair.
Yes, Mom cares a lot about her hair. Just gonna gently work this in, turn towards me a little bit. There we go. You'll be able to see on this side, we want them to be even. So just very gently, we don't want to use a lot of pressure. We're not trying to stretch the skin or anything. Maybe a little bit more, right? More is more. So Bobbi Brown, for anybody who doesn't know, is really interested in using products that are multifunctional. So if you buy from her brand, a lot of her products are going to reflect that. They're going to be more multi-use. They're not just going to be one thing, which is really cool. The next thing I'm going to use is the Farsali Liquid Glass. This is a really cool serum with hyaluronic acid in it and just a little bit of a sheen. So I don't like the Instagram trend of dripping everything all over your face. So I like to drip a little bit into my hands and then just gently kind of pat it on the skin. So you'll see if we do a side-by-side comparison of where we've put this, you'll see just a little bit of sheen on the side that we have put this on. A lot of times on Instagram, whenever people are putting a bunch of product on their face, they're putting enough on, you know, in one area to put all over their face. So you really don't need a whole lot. There we go. All right, now since we're talking about mature skin, one of the biggest concerns is radiance. So I like to put a little bit of something glowy either in with the foundation or underneath the foundation as kind of a base layer. So we're gonna use the Tom Ford Soleil Neige drops in the gold color. I can't say it. I think it's like Refleg Gild or something. I'm not gonna try to butcher any French. You could also, if you wanted a more budget-friendly option, you could also use the Jeffree Star Liquid Frost. We're just gonna put on a little bit of this. I like this because it's more shimmery and it's not so glittery. Same with the Jeffree Star one, it's just not too intense. But it'll just add a little bit of glow underneath your foundation. Or even if you don't have mature skin and you're just kind of looking to have a little bit more skin-like finish on your foundation, you can do that. Now this I'm actually going to use a sponge to kind of tap in. So this is a really good cooling under eye primer. Just going to take a little bit on my finger here. Kind of warm it up with your finger and just tap. Really thick balms like this are good to do with your finger because it helps to warm up the product. Melt it just a little bit. This is really good because it helps with any puffiness. So if you have concerns with that under your eyes, it's going to be really good help for that. Put it in that whole under eye area. How's that feel?
Feels really good.
Feels nice and cooling. Okay guys, so now it's time to go in with our foundation. So we are going to use we'll go for your classic foundation. This is the Revlon New Complexion Foundation. It's a cream, and I don't know what shade this is.
01.
01. This is the lightest shade, guys. So I'm gonna use the sponge that it came with. Just gently tap that in. Make sure you drag it down. You see how those drops underneath just give it such a beautiful glow? It's just so perfect. It adds a lot of youth. Youthful radiance. So now we're gonna go in with the NARS, sneaking up here. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Vanilla.
Now we need that. Like, nothing.
We need to what?
Conceal all this madness.
Just gonna go in with a little bit. We can always add more, so we don't wanna start off with too much. So we're gonna use our sponge. We're gonna use this pointy end right here. Make sure you always wet your sponge. Look up. That will help. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. This is just gonna help to brighten that under eye area, make things a little more even. Okay, look up. Come on this side. Streak down the nose. I like to highlight the smile lines just to bring them forward. Anything that you highlight, it's gonna stand up a little bit more. So sometimes the areas that have kind of sunken in a little bit, you can also highlight those just to bring them back out.
What about on the inner eyes? Because, you know, a lot of times when you're older, it seems like the inner eye is kind of sinks in.
I do like to highlight the inner eye, but I usually like to do it with an eyeshadow or a cream shadow. Just really work it in there. You can use the little tip of the sponge to kind of get in on the corner of the nose. That really helps.
That sponge is really soft.
This is a microfiber sponge. So this is really cool because you can use it wet or dry. If you use it dry, it'll be more like a brush. All right, so now it is time to go in with some contour. So we're gonna use our tried and true Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick in the shade Shadow.
And we like bougie.
Yes, we're bougie around here. Now this I'm gonna put on the back of my hand. Just because this one is mine. Normally I would just draw it right on the face, but this one's mine. Back in with our sponge.
Wow, you can just see with the shadows how it's intensified it.
So just follow your natural cheekbone shape. If you have a smaller forehead, you don't really need to do this. But this just helps to define the hairline a little bit.
I'm a 3.5 head.
Too intense, yeah. It's not that your forehead's big, I'm just trying to define the hairline a little bit. So you see it's just a very subtle shadow. And contour the nose a little bit.
Definitely.
I don't like to do too intense with the cream because it's very easy to go overboard, and especially if you're going to use a powder after, it just works a little better to do it that way. So now we are going to go in with our setting powder. For our setting powder, we're gonna use our Hourglass Ambient Lighting in the shade Ethereal Light.
That's mine.
Look how beautiful that is. It's just got a nice little sheen. Just kind of swirl that in there. Tap. And we're just gonna set all this that we worked so hard on. Don't be afraid of powder if you have mature skin. This looks absolutely beautiful. And we're just gonna set that under eye area. This powder has enough of a sheen to it that it won't make you look dry or cakey. Okay, can you relax it? Just gonna set a little bit on the nose. Just some of the places where your makeup tends to come off. Just tapping. This can also be used as a highlighter. Okay, what do you think of that? How does that look?
Wow.
It's nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're gonna go in with some glow. I like to do the highlighter first, so we're gonna use our Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade, the gold one. These are absolutely beautiful and very, very concentrated. So a little goes a long way. Just try to slowly build it up. Again, anywhere where the light naturally hits your face is where you want to go. And the cool thing is I'm using these on top of that setting powder, but they're not getting weird or going all over the place or causing anything to separate or fall off. So that part is really nice. So we're gonna try our Hourglass bronzer. It's gonna be this little square right here in the Ghost palette. It was buried. So we're just gonna tap off the excess and just gently tap this in. Now bronzer is gonna warm up the face, whereas a contour will kind of shrink it down. So just be careful that you don't get your bronzer and your contour mixed up. Bronzer is gonna go in a little bit more of an area. It's gonna cover a little bit more space because it's just meant to warm everything up. And it should mix in with your blush. This is a beautiful bronzer because it has a great sheen to it. I would say a good drugstore alternative would be the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, which is this one right here. That one has Muru Muru butter in it, so it is a little bit moisturizing. Now this is a little bit cooler bronzer, so we can actually use this here. And I'm just tapping because this brush is angled, so we don't want to be buffing with this brush. Blend that all the way down. How's that looking?
Great.
You like it? We're also going to go in with the blush from this palette as well. We're going to use our Instapop cheek brush. And we're going to go in with this blush right here.
What color is
See, this is number 5, so it is the Strobe Blush in Iridescent Rose. So you really want to think about your blush placement too whenever you're doing blush, just because wherever you put your blush is going to help to shape your face as well. Oh, this is beautiful. We're going to blend it into our bronzer here. What do you think? Nice and shiny. We're going to set it and forget it with our Anastasia Dewy Setting Spray.
Burp. Yep.
Okay, so now we're gonna prime our eyes with our MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. Beautiful nude color. Again, since it's kind of a balmy product, we're just gonna warm it up with our finger and just gently pat it, just enough to get coverage. We don't wanna put too much. There we go. That's that eye. So we're gonna take our Conspiracy palette. We're gonna go in with, let's start off with Tanacon right here. Who remembers Tanacon?
That's like my girlfriend Tana.
Is that better? This is just a really good kind of neutral beigey brown shade with a little bit of orange. And since we're just building our transition color, I'm just gonna tap it on here. Don't be afraid of matte eyeshadows. Matte eyeshadows can be your friend. So there's our transition shade here. It's just, everything blends so beautifully when you use that paint pot. It just works so well. All right, and now with that same brush, we're gonna go in with a little bit of Diet Root Beer, just a little bit darker. So here's Tanacon, here's Diet Root Beer. Just gonna deepen that up a little bit. So with every darker shade that we're using, we're just going a little bit less, a little bit less. And what we're doing with this brush is we're just very lightly placing it wherever we want it to go. Up a little bit, just to add depth. And then we're gonna use a clean blender brush. This is the Morphe M429. And we're just gonna blend very gently. Because especially since we're going to be using a cream eyeshadow that's very metallic and sparkly, you just want to make sure that you've gotten your dark colors laid down before you do that. Because you don't want to be going back in over that cream, which is going to intensify your eye color. You don't want to be going back over that with something darker. Are you up for a little burgundy? A little purpley?
Whatever you want to do today is fine. We're
gonna go in with just a tiny bit of Not a Fact, the shade right here. I think this is gonna go really well with the rose gold color that I have planned for us. And since it's mixing with the brown, it's not gonna be so intense. It's more of a purpley color, like a burgundy purple kind of color. I'm just gonna place that wherever we want some shadow. This purple color is gonna look really good with your eye color. And I actually like to overplace my dark color just a little bit because when we put that light color over it, we want it to blend. So we've gotten our dark colors laid down. So now we're gonna go in with Charlotte Tilbury, Eyes to Mesmerize. This is in the shade Rose Gold. Beautiful cream eyeshadow. Don't be afraid of metallics, especially in a cream form. They're just so beautiful. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. So we're just tapping it in very gently. A little bit of this goes a long way. Oh, this is so pretty. This is gonna be beautiful. And look at it. Beautiful, like rose gold into purple kind of look. Just a scotia brown. Oh, so pretty. I can't stop looking at it. Oh my gosh. So we're just gonna take a tiny bit more of Not a Fact, that kind of purpley burgundy shade. We're just going to tap. We want to tap off a lot of the excess. We're just gonna, close your eyes. We're just gonna tap enough of that to blend it with the metallic. So where it creates a gradient and it doesn't look like a harsh line cut off by the metallic. That's beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little pencil brush here. This is the Morphe M574. I'm gonna go back into Not a Fact, tap off the excess, and we're gonna go under the eye. Just gonna smudge that along the lower lash line. This is just such a beautiful color. Tap off that excess. And you always want to just kind of tap instead of just creating a line, especially with mature eyes. You just want to be careful. So beautiful. Oh, this look is just so great. And make it match up with that outside of the lid. Now just to deepen up that outer half, I'm gonna go into the shade My Rides here, which is just a matte metallic black. Or not metallic, sorry, matte black. Just right here. And I'm gonna drag it a little bit this way, just to blend it in a tiny bit, close your eyes. And then I'm just gonna bring it up here, just a tiny bit, just to make everything go together. And that just helps to deepen everything out. I'm a huge fan of smoky eyeliner. I like pencils. I like things like that. Not really liquid liners, really. Really.
I'm not either.
Okay. Yeah, I just find liquid liner to be too inky for me. I just am not a fan of inkiness. I'm gonna go back into Not a Fact a tiny bit. And because we don't want it to be straight up black, we're just gonna go under the eye. We're just gonna make it more of a blacky purple. Bring some of that burgundy purpleness back in.
So it looks like you hit me in the eye.
But in a beautiful way.
Mm.
Yeah, makes it more of a plum color.
So I don't look like I got a black eye.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Then I'm just gonna take a slightly fluffy brush right here. This is the Morphe and Jeffree Star JS9. We're gonna go into the shade Ranch right here. This kind of metallic-y white color. Tap off the
Wow,
excess.
dressing.
Yeah. Shane Dawson loves ranch dressing. And we're just gonna tap it just to highlight that inner corner. Just bring it in here a little bit. And then if you wanted to add more of a gold sheen to it, you could use less of the ranch. I personally like a good icy white with the gold. I think it just looks beautiful.
Very dramatic.
And there's our eye look. What do you think?
With my wrinkly face.
It looks pretty good.
Feels good.
So now I'm gonna let you put on your mascara and lipstick, and we'll come back and do kind of a final eval. So now that we have the mascara and lipstick on, so Mom, what do you think?
I like it. It feels good.
How does the base feel?
Feels real moisturizing. You know, my skin is so dry that it itches really, really badly a lot. And so I can feel like it just soaking in. So it's like it's, you know, absorbing in. Put my glasses on so I can see. Yeah. See, and I wear these frameless so that I can actually have fingerprints from babies. I wear the clear glasses so that I can actually, if I have any makeup on, I can actually see. You can see it. You don't have to like look around the glasses and stuff. So.
Now I know you were afraid of using a powder on your face because you do have dry skin.
Yes.
So what's your thoughts on the setting powder that we used, which is the Hourglass, the ambient lighting powder?
I don't know. I think it's fine. I think that it's light enough. It's not, because I'm used to, like, you know, the old-fashioned powders and stuff. And I used to wear powders all the time when I was younger, but now I can't do that. So, but yeah, I like it. Looks good. I was afraid for the burgundy. I was like,
I can tell.
burgundy, okay. But I think I really like the shimmer too. I didn't think I'd like that as
The
much.
Charlotte Tilbury.
Yeah. And this is the first time you use that bronzer or whatever this stick is.
Yeah.
What is the stick that
The
you
contour
use?
stick.
The contour stick. And I thought that would look a little goofy, but it doesn't look bad at all. It looks really good. But the thing is, it's really funny, is that it looks like I've got a lot of makeup on, but when it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's nice. And especially if you're going out for an evening or something like that, it'd be really
Oh, this
nice.
is definitely not a daytime look.
No. But, you know, if you have an evening that you want to go out and you've just got a simple black dress,
Yeah.
you know, really be able to pop and make it look nice, or even burgundy or something like that. So,
So I think the keys with mature skin are going to be definitely to moisturize a lot.
yeah.
Be light on the powder, but if you wanted to use a setting powder just to keep your makeup in place so it's not budging all over the place, you could definitely use the Hourglass ambient lighting.
Yeah.
It works really, really well. A good dewy setting spray is also going to help keep everything in place without drying it out.
It absolutely does. It makes it stay longer too. I noticed that hours later it still set pretty well. I was going to say too, that Bobbi Brown, and I know I just ordered this Bobbi Brown vitamin rich face base. Is this just like a primer? Is that what this is for?
It's supposed to be a primer and a moisturizer.
Okay.
Which is probably why you like it.
I love this. I love this. This smells really fresh, and I think this, I'll put it this way, out of all of the things that I've purchased for, you know, putting moisture back in my face, because like I said, I'm so dry. Literally, my skin just like cracks. It's so dry. But out of all of the ones, I feel like that has been really amazing feeling. Like I can feel what were we talking about? Like it's soaking in. You know, like
Yeah,
sometimes you
sinks
put
in, it doesn't just sit on the skin.
yeah, it's not like sitting on my skin and not going in. So that I think that Bobbi Brown, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
The vitamin rich. And I mean, I use all kinds of stuff. I've got like a whole huge collection of moisturizers. So I really do like that. I think that feels the best. And also this butter bronzer that you've got me onto too. I think that feels good. Feels really good on my skin. So, and I think the creams are the key. So
Yes, cream products are absolutely going to work so much better. I feel like that's a no-brainer, but I feel like there's still some people that don't think creams are going to work.
well, and I'm just shocked at the powder, the Hourglass powder. You know, I mean that I would never ever put powder under my eyes ever again. You know, because I've got such dry. But it really does look good. I mean, it's not dry, but I do have wrinkly old dry skin right in here. So you know, that's just where I am and what I have to face. So
But it looks good.
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, of course. So I hope you liked our tutorial on mature skin featuring my lovely mother. So if you want to see more videos like this with her in it, she would love to do them. So just let us know.
Apples don't fall far from the tree. We're both hams.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.